China has secretly supplied Russia with $10.3 billion in weapons technology since 2022, while sitting on the United Nations Security Council, calling for peace and smiling at America. Putin arrives in Beijing today, and what happens in that room will affect every person watching this video. Here is the full story that nobody is telling you. Within weeks of Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Chinese companies started shipping electronic components, microchips, machine tools, optical systems, drone batteries, everything Russia needed to keep fighting and couldn't get from the West anymore. By early 2025, Ukraine's own intelligence service confirmed the numbers. 80% of all critical electronics inside Russian drones came from China. Every drone that hit a Ukrainian city, every drone that killed Ukrainian civilians, carried a Chinese component inside it. Let's talk about what these Chinese components actually do on the battlefield. In 2024 alone, Russia launched over 10,000 drone attacks on Ukraine, each drone carrying Chinese batteries, Chinese cameras, Chinese processors. Ukrainian soldiers shot down Russian drones and examined the wreckage. They found components from Chinese companies they recognized. DJI, Shenzhen manufacturers, consumer electronics brands. The same brands selling cameras and batteries in American stores. Those exact components, inside weapons killing people in Ukraine. Ukraine's Air Force confirmed, in one single night in 2024, Russia launched 298 drones simultaneously. 266 were shot down, 32 got through. Each one carrying Chinese technology, but it goes far deeper than drones. In January 2026, the Telegraph published a bombshell investigation. China had supplied Russia with $3 billion in advanced machinery and electronics since 2022. Those machines went directly to one specific factory, the Votkinsk machine building plant. The factory that manufactures Russia's Oreshnik missile, the missile that can carry nuclear warheads, the missile that hit near Lviv, close to Poland's border, in January 2026. The missile that can reach any city in Europe in 15 minutes. China supplied the machines that built that missile, then called it civilian equipment. Here is how China avoided getting caught. They didn't ship directly. They built a network across 7 countries: the UAE, Hong Kong, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Serbia, relabeling, rerouting, shell companies. Drone engines shipped as industrial refrigeration units, machine tools shipped as agricultural equipment, microchips shipped as consumer electronics. Ukraine's intelligence confirmed 20 specific Russian military factories receiving Chinese supplies through this network. NATO looked at all of this evidence and officially labeled China a decisive enabler of Russian aggression. China's response? A statement calling the accusations groundless, then kept shipping. Now here is what nobody has connected yet. While building Russia's war machine, China was simultaneously destroying America's most powerful weapon, not missiles, not drones, the dollar. The American dollar has been the world's reserve currency since 1944. It gives America the power to sanction any country, cut any nation off from global trade, freeze any government's assets overnight. This is how America crippled Russia's economy in 2022, but Russia and China decided to end that power permanently. By 2025, their bilateral trade hit 227s. $9 billion 99, 1% of every transaction, in rubles and yuan, $0. Russia's own finance minister announced this publicly. They are not hiding it. They want America to know. China's payment system CIPS now has 1,573 institutions across the world. Russia is integrating its digital ruble with China's digital yuan. Direct transfers, no dollars, no American oversight. Brazil, India, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, all exploring alternatives to the dollar. If enough countries join, America loses the ability to sanction anyone, loses the economic power that has defined its dominance since 1944. That is what is really being discussed in Beijing today. Now here is where Putin's visit fits into everything. Trump spent 2 days in Beijing last week, asked Xi for 3 things. Stop supporting Russia in Ukraine, pressure Iran to end the war, allow Nvidia to sell AI chips to China. Xi smiled at all 3, said nothing concrete. Trump flew home, calling it the greatest summit in history. Less than 24 hours later, Putin's phone rang. Xi said, "Your turn." Putin arrives Beijing today. He and Xi have met over 40 times. They call each other dear friend and old friend. Here is what they are actually discussing. Ukraine. Putin wants China's full backing for Russia's final military offensive. More technology, more components, more microchips. China will quietly agree, because Russia's war is China's laboratory. Every drone component tested in Ukraine becomes a better weapon for Taiwan. Iran, America and Israel have been at war with Iran for 77 days. Oil is at $104 a barrel. Gas is £4.52 nationally in America. Every American is paying for this war at the pump. Russia has been shipping upgraded drones to Iran throughout the conflict. Trump personally asked Xi to pressure Iran. Xi smiled, said nothing. Now Putin arrives. They will coordinate how to keep Iran strong, because a weakened America in the Middle East benefits both of them. And finally, the axis: Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. The Atlantic Council published their conclusion this month. This is a functioning axis, coordinating against America on every front simultaneously. Ukraine, Iran, Taiwan, the South China Sea, the financial system. China supplies technology and money. Russia provides military pressure. Iran controls the oil choke point, costing every American at the gas pump. North Korea provides ammunition. 2 million artillery shells shipped to Russia. 4 countries, 1 strategy. Exhaust America on every front at once, until Washington cannot respond to all of them simultaneously. And it is working. America is fighting a proxy war in Ukraine, a direct war against Iran, watching China in the South China Sea, watching North Korea's missiles, managing Taiwan, and hosting summits where it gets roses. Today, in Beijing, Putin sits in the same room Trump sat in 3 days ago, gets the same tea, the same table, the same host, a completely different conversation. Trump left Beijing thinking he won. Putin arrives Beijing knowing the real work is about to begin. And Xi never had to choose between America and Russia. He chose both, and neither of them noticed. Subscribe to World Tech Pulse.